Hi, this is Krista at the Secret Yarnery. Today we are crocheting reusable artificial grass, glamour grass, for the bottom of our Easter baskets. To make these gorgeous patches of grass, we can do any size, just depending on how big the bottom of your basket is. My basket is quite small, so I'm just doing a smaller circle, but if you have a bigger basket, you just keep going with the pattern, adding rows until it just fits the bottom of your basket. For this tutorial, I am using eyelash dazzle from Ice Yarns. It is a size 5 chunky weight glamour eyelash. It has metallic lurex in it, which is so sparkly and so soft. It doesn't look like it would be as soft as it is, but it really is a great yarn. I'll be using a 6mm crochet hook. You'll also need a darting needle for sewing in your ends and a pair of scissors. So let's get started. So we're going to start by making a slip knot, just any which way you normally do. We don't need to leave too long of a tail. We're going to work over it and snip it off for the center of our ring. And now chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now we're going to slip stitch to that very first chain that we made. So we don't count what's on our hook, and we don't count that little knot. We just count these little V's going down, or just the bottom part of that stitch. And here is our very first stitch. So we're going to put our hook into the very first chain we made. It doesn't matter how many strands of yarn you get on your hook. Hold it open with your finger and thumb, and keep that tail working along the bottom, or laying along the bottom of your work. And slip stitch to form a ring. I'm still holding that open. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. That counts as your first double crochet. Wrap your yarn and into the ring. Now we want to make our stitches quite close. So right where that chain is, 1 double crochet and 1 more double crochet. So that counts as our first set of 3 double crochets. So chain 1. And now I'm holding my ring, but I'm holding it really close to where those stitches I just made. I'm not leaving myself too much space to work over, and that'll help keep my stitches nice and tight, or close together side by side. You can also pinch them to keep them close, because you're going to need quite a bit of space working around this ring. So 1 more set of 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And you can just wiggle your finger in there and feel your stitches. Make sure you have 3 in between each space, each chain 1 space. So chain 1, pull those stitches back, and 3 more double crochets, nice and close to where those last double crochets are. 2 and 3. Chain 1. So now we have 3 sets of double crochets. We need a total of 6, so we're halfway. So keep those stitches pulled back so you have lots of space to work around that ring. And 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1, 3 more double crochets into that ring. 1, 2, and 3. And now we can just count. There's 1, just wiggle your fingers to find those chain 1 spaces. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I have to do 1 more set of 3. We need a total of 6 sets of double crochets. So chain 1 and 3 more double crochets into that ring. 1, 2, and 3. So there is our center. So now we're going to join to the top of our chain 3. So you can just wiggle and separate that chain 3. We're going to join with a single crochet. So just into the top of that chain, anywhere over there. It doesn't matter if you have 1 strand or 2 strands. Just work into the top of that chain. And I'm still holding that area open with my finger and thumb. And make 1 single crochet to join. So that leaves us in the middle of that corner space. Chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. And I'm still holding it open. I'm not going to let that go. And wrap your yarn into that same space, right where we did our single crochet to join. 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. So now I can let go. I know that I can follow those stitches back to find the center. Pull your hook up a little bit and grab a stitch marker. So find that chain that we just did and pop a stitch marker into that chain space, or even into the top of the chain 3, just so we know when we're working our way around that that is where we're going to join. That'll just keep track of our start for us. Now wiggle your fingers to find the next chain 1 spot, and into that space 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and I'm holding it open with my finger and thumb the whole time. Chain 1 and 3 more double crochets into the same space. 1, 2, and 3. So into that chain 1 space, we did 3 double crochets, a chain 1, and 3 double crochets. And we're going to do that into every chain 1 space going all the way around. So find your next chain 1 space and just hold it open with your finger and thumb. And into that space, make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. A chain 1 and 3 more double crochets all into that same space. And I'm still holding it open with my finger and thumb. So finish that. Now wiggle your fingers to find the next chain 1 space, and into the next chain 1 space, 3 double crochets, a chain 1, and 3 double crochets. And just remember to hold that space open with your finger and thumb until you have finished all of those stitches. So there's our 3 double crochets, chain 1, and 3 double crochets into that space. So we're going to do that into each chain 1 space, working our way around. So we're going to do it 2 more times. 3 double crochets, a chain 1, and 3 double crochets into each of the next 2 spaces. So pause the video and I'll meet you when you have finished the next 2 spaces. So I've gotten back to our stitch marker, and just trace that stitch down where our stitch marker is. Trace that chain down to find that same space, and hold that space open with your finger and thumb. And into that space, we're going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. So find that stitch marker, and you can take it out, just kind of pinch where it is, the top of that chain 3. And now put your hook in. Doesn't matter what you get on your hook. Bring your yarn back and make 1 single crochet to join. And I'm just wiggling my fingers in before I finish that stitch, just so I can hold open that space in between our 3 double crochets on each side. So 1 single crochet to join. And chain 3. 1, 2, 3. So now for round 3, we're just going to be doing 1 shell of 3 double crochets into each space, going all the way around. So wrap your yarn and into the same space, 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. Wiggle your fingers to find your next space in between those sets of double crochets. Wrap your yarn and 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Wiggle your fingers to find the next space and 3 double crochets into that. 1, 2, and 3. I'm holding it open with my finger and thumb the whole time. So wrap your yarn, wiggle to find the next space, and 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and see I'm holding it open so I know where I'm working, and 3. Now you can let go of that one, find the next space between your sets of double crochets, and wiggle your finger and thumb into the next space. So each space, all the way along, we're going to do the same thing. 3 double crochets into each space. There's 1, 2, here is 3. And also where we started, before you get too lost, go back and pop that stitch marker back in so we know where we're going to be stopping of this round. You can kind of see how it's easy to not see where you started with this eyelash yarn. See that? So go ahead, remember to put your stitch marker in. And now pause the video and keep going around, making 3 double crochets into each space, all the way around until you reach where we began. When you get back to where you started, we've worked into this space here with our 3 double crochets, and the next space is where our stitch marker is and our chain came from. So if this is the size of the bottom of your basket, you will just slip stitch straight into where your stitch marker is. So bring your yarn back and give a little slip stitch and chain 1. Cut your yarn, pull your hook up and your yarn through and snug that down. It'll look just like this, and it fits perfect in the bottom of a small basket. If you want to make the larger size, I'll show you how to do that now. Are you enjoying yourself? Go ahead and hit this button under this video right now so you don't miss out on any more fun content just like this. Now into every single space going around for this row, we're going to be doing an increase. So every single space is going to get 3 double crochets, a chain 1, and 3 double crochets. So 1 increase into every space going all the way around. There's my 3 double crochets, chain 1, and 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Next space, 3 double crochets, chain 1, and 3 double crochets. There's 3 double crochets, chain 1, and 3 double crochets. So every single space along this side gets 3 double crochets, a chain 1, and 3 double crochets. So pause the video and keep working around this row, doing an increase into every single space until you get back to your stitch marker. When you get back to your stitch marker, find that space, and we want to finish our increase into that beginning space. So 3 double crochets into the same space that we did our first chain. There's 2 and 3. And if this is the size you want your grass to be, we will join with a slip stitch and chain 1 just to the top of that chain 3 to finish off our work. And if you want to keep going, because we did increases in every space of this round, now we can just do regular sets of 3 double crochets into each space for the next 2 or 3 rounds. So no more need to increase, you can just keep going. Now to make your circle bigger than this, you're just going to repeat round 3. So 1 set of 3 double crochets into each space, working all the way around until your circle is the size of the bottom of your Easter basket. To finish off, we want to slip stitch to the top of our chain 3. So just push your hook in, bring your yarn back, turn your hook and slip stitch, chain 1, cut your yarn, pull your hook up and your yarn through, and snug that down to secure. And that is your super cute artificial grass reusable Easter grass for your Easter basket. So cute down in there. So I'd love to see yours. You can tag me over on Instagram at Secret Yarnery, or you can join our Facebook group, the Secret Yarnery Crochet Community. I'd love to see how yours turned out. If you need to make yours bigger than this, just continue repeating round 3 until it's the size that you like. So have a super great week. Thanks for joining me, and I'm waiting for you in that video right there. Stay hooked.